Okay, so now in this video we will be adding the rifle switching. For that, what we're gonna do is in the scripts folder, let's go ahead and create a new C# script by the name of game manager. When it is created, click on your player and let's drag and drop this script to this player right here. Then let's open this up in Visual Studio Code. What we're gonna do on this script is, first of all, we need a reference to our input manager script. So create a reference to that, and as you know that on the input manager we will set up our input for the shooting button and for the scope, reload, for all the buttons which we created in the previous video. If I show you in the player actions, we have these buttons. So first of all we need to read their inputs, and we're gonna read them inside our input manager script. Right here, if we scroll down in the input button flag, let's create a flag for our shoot button first of all. So public bool shoot input. Then the next one is gonna be the scope input. Then after the scope we will create a bool for our reload input. Then after the reload we need it for our pause input, and also let's do it above the reload. We need a bool for our change rifle input. Alright, once you create all of these bools, then let's read their values. So right down below, let's start from the shoot. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna type player controls dot player actions dot, instead of p we're gonna type shoot because this is what we name in our player controls. Okay, and instead of cancelled we're gonna type performed, and if the shoot is performed, then the shoot input bool will be set to true. Alright, then just simply copy it, paste it down below, and then when the shoot input is cancelled, then the shoot input bool will be false. Then we're gonna do the same for our scope, so I'm gonna just copy these two lines, paste it right down below, and instead of shoot I'm gonna type scope because this is what we name in our player controls, scope, and then the bool name is scope input, and right here as well. If I show you the controls, not player controls, let's actually open this up. Okay, so as you can see, shoot, scope, reload, and for change rifle we name it as C, and then this is the pause. Okay, so make sure that you name them according to this. Now after the scope, the next one is reload. So for the reload we're gonna do the same thing, so I'm gonna just copy and paste that line as well, and right here I'm gonna type reload right down below, and then change the bool name to reload input, and right down below as well. Then after the reload we have the change rifle input. So for that we're gonna just copy this performed line, paste it down below, change this to C because this is what we name it, and then the bool name is change rifle input. Alright, we just need to type the perform line for it, and now for cancelling it we will be creating a separate method. So I'm gonna scroll down right here and create a private method by the name of handle change rifle input. In here, if the change rifle input is true, then we're gonna set it to false. That is all we have to do in here. Then you can just simply copy this method name and paste it in here. Alright, now after the change rifle input we have the pause. So for the pause we're gonna do the same as we did for change rifle input. So copy and paste the perform line right here, type pause, then the bool name is pause input, then scroll down. Let's copy this method, paste it, and change pause input. Then if the pause input is true, we're gonna set it to false. Copy this line and paste it right here. Alright, once we are reading the inputs, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna now add rifle switching. So right here, as you know that we make a reference to our input manager, then we need a reference to our rifles, and as you know that for now we just only have three, so I'm gonna create three references right here. So name it as rifle 1, rifle 2, rifle 3. Alright, then we need a reference to the animator, because whatever rifle the player selects, we're gonna play that rifle animations. Alright, then at the end we're gonna create a private string by the name of rifle1 anim pool, which gonna be equals to pistol active, because this is what the pool name in the animator. If I show you, okay, if we click on animator right here, it is pistol active and rifle active. Okay, so we need to type these names. Alright, so now we can copy this, paste it right down below. Our second rifle is the SMG, so for that we're gonna type rifle active, and for the third one we're gonna just leave it as pistol because the third rifle is pistol. Okay, so make sure that you name them correctly one by one according to your own rifles. After this we're gonna create a private game object array by the name of rifles, and then create a private string array. Let's name this as rifle anim pools. Alright, now let's set up the references. So in the start method, what we're gonna do, we're gonna first of all set up the reference for input manager. So input manager will be equals to get component. Actually, let's do it by the other method, which is find object of type input manager. Okay, then after this we have the rifles game object array right here, so that array will be equals to new game object array, and in this array we're gonna pass our rifle 1, rifle 2, and then rifle 3. Alright, then in the rifles anim pools string array, we're gonna say new string array, and to this array we're gonna pass our rifle 1 anim pool, rifle 2 anim pool, and rifle 3 animation pool. Alright, then after this let's create the methods for switching between different rifles. So first of all we're gonna create a method in which we're gonna deactivate all of our rifles, okay, because when the game starts we don't want any of the rifle to be active. Okay, so let's name this as deactivate all rifles. In here we will create a for each loop in which we're gonna create a variable by the name of rifles, and they're gonna search inside the rifles array Okay, this rifles array right here into which we pass rifle 1, 2, 3, and then in there whatever rifle we found we're gonna set it to false. Alright, or we're gonna deactivate it. Then let's create another for each loop in which we're gonna create a variable by the name of animbool, and it's gonna search inside the rifle animbool string array, and then whatever we found inside that array we're gonna set that rifle animation to false as well. So we're gonna say animbool, let's set it to false. Okay, because when we are deactivating the rifle we want that rifle animation to be deactivated or set to false as well. Alright, and we have the reference to our animator, so that is good. Now after this we will be creating one more method in which we're gonna switch our rifles. So I'm gonna name this as cycle rifles, and in here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first of all deactivate all of the rifles, then the current rifle index. Actually we forgot to create this integer, so let's do it right here. Okay, create a private integer by the name of current rifle index, which can be equals to 0, and this current rifle index will be used to keep track of the current rifle. Alright, so in here current rifle index will be equals to current rifle index plus 1, divide that by the rifles dot length plus 1. Then we're gonna create a if condition in which the current rifle index, we're gonna say if that is less than the rifles dot length. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch between different rifles. Okay, so let me first of all complete this, then I will explain what is happening inside this method. Okay, so create a game object by the name of current rifle, which gonna be equals to rifles, then current rifle index, then create a string by the name of current animbool, this is gonna be equals to rifle animbools. Let's pass current rifle index to it, because when we select any rifle we want to play that rifle animation. Okay, and we also want that rifle to be activated in the player hand. Okay, so game object, actually we are already doing that right here, and then in the second one we are playing its animation. Okay, and now as I told you we need to set it to true as well, so current rifle dot set active will be true. Then in the animator we're gonna set it to true as well, so current animbool will be set to true, and that is it. Then in the update method, whenever we press the change rifle input key we will be changing the rifles. Alright, so for that we will say if input manager dot change rifle input is true, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna say cycle rifles, and that is it. So now let me explain what we are doing in this script. So first of all, we added all of our variables which are needed. Okay, then we at the end we created these two arrays. First one is of type game object, the second one is of type string. In the game object we stole all of our three rifles, and in the second one, which is of type string, we stored all of the animation bool names, which is these ones. Okay, then in this method we simply deactivate the rifle and we set their animations to false. Okay, then right here in the cycle rifles, first of all we deactivate all the rifles and their animations, and this ensures that no rifle is active before activating the next one. Then right here in this line, the current rifle index is incremented by 1. This modulus operator, which is this sign right here, is used to wrap the index around once it exceeds the number of rifles length. Okay, which is this rifles dot length. Then by using this rifles dot length plus 1, there is an additional index which effectively represents a state where no rifle is active beyond the last rifle in the list. Then in this if conditions, what we do, this conditional block check if the current rifle index is within the valid range of rifle indices from 0 to the rifle length. Okay, so first of all, then what we do right here is we retrieve the rifles. We retrieve a rifle from the rifles array and assign it to the current rifle. Then after that, the corresponding animation boolean name is retrieved from the rifle animation bool array and assigned to the current rifle anim, actually current anim bool. Then after that, the selected rifle is activated by calling the dot set active true thing. Okay, we activate the rifle. Then after that, the animator boolean parameter, which is this current anim bool, is set to true, indicating that the animation for the active rifle should play. Okay, then whenever we press the change rifle input, we perform this whole method in which we change the rifle again and again. Right, and when the length of the rifle array finishes, then we deactivate all of the rifles. Okay, that is all what is happening in this script. Now if we get back right here, we need to add the animator in there and then our three rifles. So if we open up player, then hips, then spine, spine 1, spine 2, right shoulder, right arm, right forearm, right hand. In here we have the first rifle, then the second one, and then the third one. So now as you can see, the second one is active by default, but now if we go ahead and play the game, the rifles gets uh, deactive, and if it is not, then you can select your rifle and deactivate it. Okay, or actually what you can do is before starting the game, you can select this rifle and deactivate it manually if it didn't. Okay, then you can just close that and now play the game again. And when the game starts, you can now press C key, and now as you can see, there is our rifle changing perfectly fine. Okay, this is our first rifle, second and third. Okay, and it plays the animations according to that rifle. Okay, for the guns it plays the pistol animations, and then for this it plays the rifle animation. Okay, as you can see. You can also test this by using your controller. Okay, so on my Xbox controller, if I press the Y key, as you can see, using the Y key, the rifles are changing. Okay, and for now, the shoot, scope, reload, and that buttons will not work because we don't have anything workable for that buttons. But if you click on player and open up input manager, you can see in the input manager that when we hold down our right trigger, it shows the shoot input set to true, and when we hold our left trigger, it shows scope input set to true. And if we press B, it is the sprint button, and if we press A, okay, on A nothing is set up. If we press our X key, the reload input is set to true, and when we press Y, as you can see on Y, it changes the rifles. Okay, and if we press start, okay, using the start key, the pause input doesn't happen. It is not happening right here, but it gonna work when we add our pause menu. Okay, so what this means, it means that all of our inputs are working perfectly fine. And with this done, in the next video we're gonna add some shooting to our rifles.